jury?
Someone said they were ready.
Oh.
They're definitely in that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Can You Survive District 13. Here we are at Tribal Council during Golden Hour. So the video is looking fabulous. These players are gonna look fantastic as soon as they come on into Tribal Council. And I'm sure also all of you look fantastic at home, you beautiful capital citizens with all your unique fashions that I'm sure you're wearing, that we will be wearing tomorrow. So get excited. Oh, I hear that ominous music. You know what that means. All of your faves are heading on into Tribal Council now. We have Jess, Hatch, Phil, Leo, Aldrian, Kieran, Reday, and Nick.
And we'll now bring in our jury. We have Lindsay, Todd, and Francesca voted out at our last round. All right, Leo. Had votes coming your way at the last tribal council, clutched out what I imagine is an important immunity win. How different is this round feeling from maybe the stress of last round?
It's 1-8. I mean, whatever with that. But I just feel really good. This was like very much like a bucket list thing. So like it just feels like good. Like everybody's like super supportive, and I think they all kind of recognize like it's like an exciting thing for no matter what. So yeah, I'm just like very happy right now.
Beyond the excitement and the bucket list, obviously those are major accomplishments. Did it change anything from you in terms of how you approach this vote?
I don't think so. You know, it's kind of been like the group said last time, which I didn't say, but it has been like a group kind of just together, and it's been very unique. And so no, I don't think me having the necklace or somebody else having the necklace would like necessarily influence things.
Okay. Jess, you had acknowledged at last tribal council you don't feel like the first couple votes of the merge had gone a way that you liked. Do you feel like the third vote was a turning point in terms of helping, regain a little bit of footing here, or was that more of the same?
Yeah, I think last vote got us more on the same page again. It's just getting down to the point where it's sort of impossible to find your footing in any long-term way. So I think I'm just taking it one scramble at a time at this point.
Interesting. Rita, do you agree with that it's been really like different groups, different types of strategy heading into each vote, and not, the same kind of voices each time?
I mean, yeah, if you look at the history, like people have come together. It hasn't been like last vote was almost unanimous, and there's 3 Goddard and 5 Caribou left, and so it wasn't like it was a 5-3 split, right? And so yeah, absolutely, it's a dynamic game for sure.
Okay, interesting. Karen, doesn't that make you a little uneasy? I mean, about the votes going forward? I mean, how do you handle the fact that no one seems to be, at least to me at Tribal, admitting that there is a group here, we have this plan, and we're moving forward? I feel like, how are you planning to, are you building your plan all the way to the end of the game, I guess? Or are you trying to survive one vote at a time?
Yeah, I think it is honestly a one vote at a time situation. Like, of course, we're all thinking about the end game in some capacity, but I think we know how fluid things are. Like, we've all been on different tribes with each other at different times. And so I think it's just easier to go one vote at a time because the dynamics shift each round, and we just kind of have to focus on making it one step ahead before we can think about the final 3 or 2 or whatever, because we may not get there otherwise.
Yeah. Aldrian, Rede mentioned the 5-3 Goddard Caribou split. The other kind of split that I see here is 5 men and 3 women. Is that something that's been discussed at all in terms of strategy, or is that not playing a part?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's telling. I think it's definitely something at least the women are thinking about. I mean, yeah, there's a pattern. There's a lot of women over there, only women over there. So it does feel a little scary at times. But I think it really just comes down to trusting your um, alliance. I don't ever want to just like base a vote off of that one thing because I don't think that that's smart either. But it is something I'm paying attention to.
Yeah, definitely. Nick, the final 8 and final 7 votes historically in Survivor are times where huge targets are taken out before the end of the game. Do you feel like that's something where we're going to see here? Is that kind of the vibe of the group here, that they're ready to take a big swing?
I feel like when we were going into the merge, I really tried to make the pitch that like I want to move forward with targets because I know I'm a target, right? So I was able to kind of, I hope, sell that like, hey, you know, if people are really looking at me as a threat, then maybe they're not looking at you so much as a threat. So you have a little bit more room to operate. And I think that resonates with a lot of people here because when I look around, like these are clever people. Like they know how to play this game and they play it well. And it's fun, but it is also scary.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with fire at a certain point. Phil, talk a little bit about kind of the difficulty of, yeah, maybe you want to have threats around, you want to have shields, but you also want to be able to make your own mark and not kind of be a nothing here.
Yeah. You mentioned targets, and even the idea of a big target is different for every person that's sitting here. Like I would say that everyone here could have a target on their back for a different reason. And so I don't think it's as easy as saying like who's the big target. I think it's just figuring out your own game, and then how do you know who you're next to at the end to where maybe your target's a little bigger when you're sitting at the end compared to those other people.
Yeah, Patch, talk to me about the end. I mean, our jury is starting to grow bigger and bigger. How much of your changing concept of who is the biggest threat and who is this is now based off of the types of qualities that you think the jury is going to be favoring?
I mean, I think while you're slowly building your end game, you are starting to think about, you know, if this person sits in the jury, they're probably going to want this. If this person sits in the jury, they're probably going to want that. But again, everything is so fluid right now. It is like Kieran said, very much like one step at a time that you can't put all your eggs in one basket of thinking about the end game so much. Yeah, it's more about adapting once you get there, in my opinion.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see that next step, that one step, unless anyone else has anything to add. All right, we'll get to the vote. Patch, we'll start with you.
All right, y'all, let's head over to tea time. That is reminding me I could really use some caffeine. I know that it is evening here, but that doesn't matter at CYS because we run on caffeine and passion. So, all right, let's get into it. Okay. This is the final eight people. All right, so final 8, and Nick is acknowledging that everyone left in this game is smart. They are clever, they are good players, and they are willing to make moves and, you know, have different layers of voting. And, you know, everyone's kind of comfortable with survivor math. And so he is like, okay, this is great because we are going to target Phil, and we're gonna let him know, like, oh, like Phil, actually, like we're targeting either Jess or Renee because they're the 2 Goddard people that are left in the game. Because Phil has been on the let's not, you know, sit next to any Goddard. He's been like Caribou Crew strong, but really it'll be Phil. And Nick is looking to the final tribal. He would like to potentially sit next to Aldrina and Jess in the end, but he's not like super locked in with that. He is still shopping around to see. And while he does have an idol, he's not going to play it unless he like catches a vibe this round because it should be, you know, a straightforward Phil vote out. Well, this is Survivor, folks, and nothing is ever simple. So Leo is trying for a huge move this round. He wants it to appear to almost everyone that it is going to be a 7-1 on Phil, but wants 4 of those 7 to actually vote for Nick and do a 4-3-1 split, where 4 people, Leo, Ride, Jess, and Patch, vote for Nick. 3 people, aka Aldrian, Kieran, and Nick, vote for Phil, and Phil is the lone vote for Ride. Ride is totally on board with this plan and is okay being the decoy vote. Jess is also in on this plan and down for it. And Patch is also in for this plan. He's feeling like he was feeling super close, if you'll remember, to to Aldrian and Nick. But and he's kind of was forming inroads with Jess, but he's noticed that Aldrian and Nick are going off without him with Jess a lot, and they've never gone with like just him as a group of 3 to talk before. So he's like, okay, why is Jess getting special treatment and I'm not? Like, clearly something is amiss here. So Patch is also down to let Nick go after that sus sitch. Speaking of Aldrian, she didn't really talk about Patch in her confessional today. She talked about everyone else, except didn't mention Patch. So perhaps Patch is in fact onto something there. She said that her 2 closest allies in the game are Nick and Jess, and she also really likes Ride and Leo. And she is fine with Phil going as like this majority vote situation. And interestingly, Aldrian doesn't think that anyone has any advantages left in the game, so I don't know that she knows about Phil's 50-50 shot in the dark or Nick's idol. Speaking of Phil's 50-50, Kieran wants to target Phil because of his 50-50 and is hoping that he doesn't use it. So she's going to try and make him feel really safe and tell Phil that the decoy vote is potentially Jess or maybe Ride. And she is thinking that for her final 2, she wants to sit next to Nick because they've played such different games. So let's go over to Phil. He is fully thinking that he is going to be voting Ride along with everyone else almost unanimously. And he literally apologized to us and was like, sorry, it's just a boring round and we're eliminating another Goddard. Like, so sorry about this. Yeah, so juicy stuff, y'all. That is all I've got for you. So let's head on over back to Tribal Council and we will see this all unfold. Perhaps this will be a grand plan that comes to fruition. And that way we get a little FaceTime and you can see all your faves again. All right, we are back in the final Tribal Council area. Gonna wait along with these players who are waiting silently, but we don't have to be quiet. We can say hello. The drama. All right, let's start over here this time. Looking on, having taken everything in this entire Tribal Council, is Lindsay, Cod, and Francesca.
Okay, I'll go tally the votes.
You'll also notice a lot of familiar faces out in the viewing crowd here. Tons of our fabulous pre-jurors are hanging out as well, waiting the result of this tribal council along with our players. Patch, Jess, Phil, Leo, Kieran, Aldrian, Ride, and Nick.
All right. If anybody has an idol or an advantage and want to play one, now would be the time to do so. All right. I'll get to the vote. First vote, Rita. Second vote, Phil. Third vote, Phil. Fourth vote, Phil.
Y'all are superstars.
Fifth vote, Nick. Sixth vote, Nick. Seventh vote, Nick. We are tied 3-3. One vote remaining. Last vote, and the next member of our jury, Nick. That's 4. That's enough. Got it, Coach.
Hey, ship is safe in port. Not what chips are made for.
All right. Nick, the tributes have spoken. Thank you. All right. Well, it seems like some of that precious unity was just potentially disrupted.
What?
We will have you head out and head back to camp. We'll talk to you later.
Wait, what did you say?
I said what?
No, what did you
All right, players heading on back to camp now.
Get the players over here.
So production is going to eat some dinner, and then we'll be back for something else. So we are not done today. Get excited.